The Big Bets on Campus podcast dropping in on the coaching carousel here in December because we had an absolute bombshell hit overnight. Speaking, of course, about Michigan and Sharon Moore. While the details still filter in what we know for sure, Sharon Moore is out, and now one of the best jobs, most prestigious jobs in all of college football is suddenly open. Kalshi opened a market overnight, allowing people to speculate on who the next Michigan coach will be. And currently, we're looking at Alabama's Kalen DeBoer, Washington's Jedd Fisch, Vanderbilt's Clark Lee, and Arizona State's Kenny Dillingham as the front runners, all clustered at the top of the market. But I mean, really, this could be anybody's job. There's names floating around there. Brian Kelly, you got John Gruden. You have names that really have not been in the mix because the coaching carousel we're so late into it. There's fewer available coaches. Probably not going to see Lane Kiffin make another jump. Ultimately, Duck, who do you think gets the Michigan job?
Well, it's a fascinating question. There's so many questions that need to be answered and unpacked here. If I'm wanting to take the job, I'm looking at, do we have alignment? Do we have consistency with the administration? What changes are coming with the university president? Are you going to have a palate for hiring somebody who's not a quote Michigan man? And will you welcome and embrace somebody who's from the outside? I think all names need to be considered, but Michigan has to act fast. For Kalen DeBoer to be considered, it's unfortunate because he's going to be with his team through the duration of the season, and I just don't think Michigan will be able to wait. Jedd Fisch's season is over tomorrow. So I think it's interesting how that timing would allow for him to be able to make a quicker decision. If I'm Michigan, I make all names available. Marcus Freeman, Kurt Cignetti, John Gruden, Dan Lanning, Kenny Dillingham. Force them to say no. Give everybody the pitch that you want and force them to say no. I think Fish is a decent hire if they go with him. He coached there 10 years ago. He's familiar with the program. He's done a fantastic job at Arizona and Washington in recent stops. So I think that would make sense. I think DeBoer could make sense, but I don't know that the timing will align. So interesting question. What do you think?
I think it'll be Fish. You just mentioned it, the Michigan connection. Also, for a program, even when they won the national championship, no disrespect to JJ McCarthy, it didn't run through quarterback play. Fish is a quarterback whisperer. You look what he did in the desert with Noah Fafita. He had great success with the Huskies in terms of them scoring 34 points per game this season and great balance. Where if Michigan still has a full stable of backs, he's going to be able to use them in the same way they did with Jonah Coleman this year and develop the quarterback. Damon Williams Jr. didn't necessarily get to that superstar level, and it prevented the Huskies from punching up into the top 10 and certainly not giving many scares to the top opponents on their schedule this year. But I think he has that in his bag. And that's the biggest question to me is who can keep Bryce Underwood in Ann Arbor and continue to build on a freshman season that was uneven, but it was a true freshman playing in the Big Ten. He took his lumps. I think there's plenty to be excited about for him in his future. You need to get him a quarterback coach. So I'll go Jedd Fisch. All right.